Karoline Leavitt is back, and she's not pulling any punches, whether it's shutting down a cocky French politician or putting Jeff Bezos on the spot. She's sharp, fearless, and in full control. This isn't just talk. It's a lesson in real confidence. You won't want to miss a minute. Get ready. This is powerful stuff.
There is now a member of the European Parliament from France who does not think the U.S. represents the values of the Statue of Liberty anymore. They want the Statue of Liberty back. So is President Trump going to send the Statue of Liberty back to France?
Absolutely not. And my advice to that unnamed low-level French politician would be to remind them that it's only because of the United States of America that the French are not speaking German right now. So they should be very grateful to our great country.
This is both funny and a bit ridiculous. A French politician is now asking for the Statue of Liberty back. But there's one small problem. France gave it to the US as a gift. And here's the twist. His party only got about 14% of the vote in the recent EU elections, so he's hardly speaking for most French people anyway. But the real eye-opener, he's from the political left, acting like they still lead the charge for freedom around the world. You really couldn't make this stuff up.
Former President Biden, he's set to deliver his first major speech since leaving office tonight. I wanted to get the president's response, or if he plans to respond to this, and comments on what Democrats are calling cuts to Social Security.
My first reaction when seeing former President Biden was speaking tonight was I'm shocked that he is speaking at nighttime. I thought his bedtime was much earlier than his speech tonight. I understand the topic of his speech will be Social Security. Let me make it very clear ahead of former President Biden's remarks. President Trump, is absolutely certain about protecting Social Security benefits for law-abiding, tax-paying American citizens and seniors who have paid into this program.
It's still hard to understand why Biden thought giving that speech was a good move. Public speaking hasn't exactly been his strong suit during his presidency, and this latest one just made that even clearer. From the moment he started talking, it was all downhill. Half-finished sentences, off-topic tangents, and a confused audience trying to figure out what he was even trying to say. It wasn't just awkward. It was uncomfortable to watch. Meanwhile, Karoline Leavitt was on a completely different level. While Biden stumbled through his notes, she was out front, delivering sharp, real-time responses. Her takedown of Kamala Harris and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz was both tough and spot on. She didn't just push back. She broke down their arguments with calm, clear logic and confidence. The contrast couldn't have been more obvious. It's moments like these that show why Karoline keeps gaining momentum, while others are left trying to keep up.
Tim Walz, Governor Walz, saying last night he frequently checks Tesla stock, in doing so to, quote, give me a little boost during the day. How should Americans view politicians who take pride in the downfall of an American car company?
I think that's quite sad, but I think Governor Walz unfortunately is living a sad existence after his devastating defeat on November 5th.
Exactly. When your political opponents are people like Tim Walz and Kamala Harris, the smartest move isn't to argue, it's to hand them a mic and step aside. No need for a rebuttal. Every time they speak, they do what entire campaigns struggle to achieve. They reveal their own lack of clarity and leadership. Whether it's Kamala's famously confusing speeches or Tim Walz's baffling statements, it feels like you're watching something out of another reality. You don't need spin or strategy, just patience. Let them talk. Let the public listen and ask the obvious question. How did these people end up with so much power? It's like a slow-motion collapse. And the best part? You don't have to do anything. Just let the microphone do the work.
Well, I think it was a great reminder to the American people of just how blessed we all are. That the leader sitting in the Oval Office today is President Donald Trump and not President Kamala Harris.
Just to add on the Kamala Harris point, I think I speak for everyone at the White House. We encourage Kamala Harris to continue going out and do speaking engagement.
Quick reminder, if you haven't liked the video or subscribed to the channel yet, Now's the time. It really helps more than you think, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Now let's talk about Tim Walz. Remember when the media couldn't stop praising him during his town hall tour? He was billed as the next big thing, a fresh Democratic voice with broad appeal. But fast forward a few months, and it's radio silence. After a series of stumbles and awkward moments, those same outlets have pretty much dropped him. It's like they realized the hype didn't match the reality. Meanwhile, over in the UK, the spotlight is on something bigger: freedom of speech. Musician Winston Marshall has been calling it out, and he's not sugarcoating anything. His warning about growing censorship hit a nerve, and for good reason. When artists start sounding more honest than the politicians, you know something's off. So stick around. Between political slip-ups, media spin, and the rising pushback against censorship, things are only getting more interesting, and you'll want a front row seat for all of it.
In Britain, we have had over a quarter of a million people issued non-crime hate incidents. As we speak, there are people in prison for quite literally reposting memes. Would the Trump administration consider political asylum for British citizens in such a situation?
Well, to your latter question, it's a very good one. I have not heard that proposed to the president, nor have I spoken to him about that idea, but I certainly can and talk to our national security team and see if it's something the administration would entertain.
Now here's where things really get interesting. This moment didn't just happen out of nowhere. It took place during a White House press briefing that was set up specifically for newer independent media outlets. That's why you might have noticed some unfamiliar faces in the press pool. It wasn't the usual group of legacy reporters tossing easy questions and nodding along. And the topic? It wasn't breaking news or a fresh controversy. It was an issue that had been brewing for months, something everyone in that room already knew about. But until that moment, the mainstream media had mostly ignored it, acting like it either didn't exist or wasn't worth covering. Then one outsider spoke up, asked the tough question, and suddenly, the story got real attention. That tells you everything you need to know about how the media works today. It's not about chasing the truth. It's about sticking to a narrative. If a story doesn't fit their angle, it gets buried. That's why these new voices matter so much. Sometimes, all it takes is one person outside the system to cut through the noise and show the public what real journalism looks like.
To your first question about free speech in the United Kingdom, the Vice President has been incredibly outspoken about this for good reason. And the President has spoken about this as well directly with your Prime Minister when he was here for a visit to the White House. So it remains a critical endeavor of ours to show the Brits and your country, which we love and admire, about the First Amendment and the importance of free speech in a sovereign nation.
Karoline also had a few sharp words for Jeff Bezos. And let's just say, it was something to see. She didn't hold back, and the way she called him out was nothing short of impressive. Direct, bold, and completely on point.
This is a hostile and political act by Amazon. Why didn't Amazon do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years? And I would also add that it's not a surprise because, as Reuters recently wrote, Amazon has partnered with a Chinese propaganda arm. So this is another reason why Americans should buy American. It's another reason why we are onshoring critical supply chains here at home to shore up our own critical supply chain and boost our own manufacturing here.
Now here's the part most people aren't talking about, but it's a game changer. Some are noticing that this move actually helps Amazon users spot which products are made outside the US. In a way, it's pushing American-made options without saying a word. Smart, right? But just imagine if this had happened under Trump. The media would have gone into full meltdown mode, non-stop headlines about tariffs hurting working families and economic collapse just around the corner. You know the playbook: panic, outrage, repeat. That's what makes this moment so satisfying. Karoline didn't just field a tough question, she turned it into an opportunity. And when it came to Jeff Bezos, she didn't flinch. Calm, confident, And completely in control, she put him in his place without breaking a sweat. And just when you think it couldn't get more surreal, MSNBC's Joy Reid 2.0 just got called out for blatant racism. Yep, it happened during another new media White House press briefing. Funny how the truth starts slipping out when the old guard takes a back seat. So don't go anywhere. This is just getting good.
And it is racist what she is saying. The president intends on deporting illegal alien criminals who broke our nation's laws and are not only impacting communities across the country, but in particular communities of color in our inner cities. You remember the story out of New York City where young minority children were kicked out of their public school to make room for illegal immigrants to sleep on the floor of their cafeteria. That is putting America last. Doesn't matter your race, your religion, or creed. If you are a law-abiding American citizen, President Trump is going to put you first. And shame on Simone Sanders for saying that.
I'll be honest, I have no idea what MSNBC was thinking. They let Joy Reid go, supposedly to dial things back after years of over-the-top, divisive commentary. Then they turned around and gave the spotlight to Simone Sanders. It's like they swapped one outrage machine for another and expected totally different results. If the goal was to rebuild trust or reach a wider audience, this wasn't just a miss. It was a total strikeout without even swinging. Instead of changing course, they've just rebranded the same loud, one-sided style with a new face. And let's be real, viewers can see right through it. It's not about honest conversation or fair reporting. It's just more of the same noise in a different package. But hey, maybe that's just how I see it. I'd love to hear your take. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think. And if you're enjoying these breakdowns, don't forget to share this video. It really helps spread the word. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.